Hey guys, well, summer's just around the corner, and that first clip was actually some birds that have been nesting, one of our hanging flower baskets. I thought it was kind of cool to see the new chicks that just hatched yesterday. And so with that, we had some baby birds. School's getting close to being out, and it's easy to forget about those monthly maintenance things that we need to be doing on our trailers and RVs. So today we're going to talk about the monthly battery maintenance that you should be doing every month. Okay, so we're looking at I have two 6-volt batteries that I've put into this case. It's a little bit hard to see because our battery compartment is on the very front of our fifth wheel underneath where our beds are. It's difficult to see, so that's why you guys are just going to be looking at my hands. So there's only a couple things you really need to be doing here, and that is checking your battery terminals, making sure that, let me adjust the camera here just a second. There you go. Checking your battery terminals for cleanliness, making sure that they're looking good, making sure that there's no corrosion, anything like that on them. I had to build a custom battery box. I just took a Plano box that I found on Amazon. It seals all the way around the top, and then I took the factory vents and installed those on the top of this. The batteries give off hydrogen gas, and that can corrode your metal components and things, so it's important to have those vented. Most travel trailers obviously have those mounted outside of a compartment, so you don't have to vent them like you would on a fifth wheel. Ours are inside of an enclosed compartment, so it's important to keep them vented. So that simply just comes off. The reason I had to build different battery boxes is because the 6-volt batteries are taller. They're about the same width and length. However, they're about 1.5 inches, 2 inches taller. So if you do decide to go with 6-volt batteries, plan on spending the expense, whether you have a travel trailer or anything else, you're going to need to get different battery boxes. So I went ahead and checked all my terminals. All of them are looking very clean, nearly brand new still. And with this, you got to check the fluid level. You don't want to put just regular water into these. You need to be using distilled water. So I just have a gallon of distilled water. You can buy it at any supermarket. And the easiest thing that I found is just a turkey baster. I'll pop the cap. I check this once a month. It's important that you check it once a month because, especially if your RV is plugged in all the time, what can happen is it will, while the charge is going into this, it will boil off some of that liquid that's inside. So it's important to check these once a month. I always wear gloves, and what you're looking for is there's a little lip just below the surface. It's about 3/4 of an inch to an inch down below, and what you want to be looking for is how deep that is down in there. You want your water level to be just below that little lip, or right at the bottom of that little lip. Just add a little bit at a time until you see that get to that little lip. You want to have some air for expansion. You want to leave that open, and like I said, it's important you're using distilled water. Each of these caps covers 2 of the cells, and you don't ever want your cells to dry out. A bit more. It's pretty quick and easy. If you're having battery problems, check all your connections first. Make sure that you don't have any dry cells. If you do have dry cells, it's going to be very hard to recondition your batteries, and they're not going to hold a charge for very long. One of the main reasons we went to 6-volt batteries is because you can discharge them further than 12 volts. And we typically leave our RV plugged in all the time. So that's why it's important to check this once a month, as your converter is giving your batteries their charge, their necessary charge, and keeping them at the correct charge. Like I said, it's going to boil off some of this fluid inside, and you don't ever want your cells to get dry. Okay, so there's one battery down. As you can see, it goes pretty darn quick. I wear gloves too, just because I don't want to get any of the acid or anything like that on my skin. And you may have a little bit different style of a cap on your 12-volt batteries. All lead acid filled batteries whether it be 6 volt, 12 volt, anything like that, that's lead acid battery is going to need to have this maintenance done. If you haven't done it in a long time, I recommend getting out there and doing it as soon as possible, because you do not want those cells to dry out. If those cells dry out, you're going to need to probably end up replacing your battery sooner than they should be. And mine are just a little bit low. They're about 1/8 of an inch below where I would like them to be. But all of them are equal. All of them are getting equal charge on them. And that's another good sign that all of them have been equally low. And that's it. I do have a 12 volt battery. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to check the water level on that one as well. It's a little different style, and it's more of a marine battery, so it has a little different style caps. All I want to do with this is I'm going to go and wipe up all the extra water that I spilled a little bit of, and then we'll move over to that 12 volt and I'll talk about that one. Okay guys, so with this battery, this is my 12 volt battery that I use for my little boats charging trolling motor. This one, it's got dirt all over it. I'm just going to do a simple wipe down of it, clean it up. And then this one, the terminal, specifically the positive terminal, is a little bit of rust on it. So I'm going to show you a little trick you can do to clean off these battery terminals. Another important thing when you're storing batteries like this, I don't obviously use it all the time. I only use it during the summertime when it's fishing season and we're going to take the little boat out. With batteries, it's important that you do not store them on a concrete garage floor. You want to have a piece of wood or something like that below them. The concrete will end up discharging your batteries out, and so you'll come back from a fully charged battery to a corroded battery, or not corroded rather, but a dead battery, and you're not going to be able to use it. So it's kind of hard to see. This is just on the back of my tailgate. It's always stored up off the garage floor. This positive terminal specifically has a little bit of rust, a little bit of corrosion, and a little bit of corrosion around the main terminal. So a trick that you can do, this is just on the back of my tailgate, is a cup of coffee. It's just regular black coffee. Try not to make a big mess here. Pour a little bit of coffee on it, and the acid from the coffee helps eat up a lot of that stuff. And then it's just a simple wire brush. Clean up those terminals. Okay, a little bit more coffee. We'll see what it looks like. Paper towels. You can also use Coca-Cola for this, but Coca-Cola makes a sticky mess. So that's why I prefer coffee. Coca-Cola, Pepsi, RC, whatever. Doesn't matter, but I just think it makes a much bigger mess, so I don't like using it, and it gets really sticky. So you can see it cleaned up those terminals really nicely. This is just something you can do every month. This one hasn't been maintained as well as I should have been maintaining it. I've been doing the RV batteries every month, but I have to be honest that I haven't done this one nearly as often. So it'll be interesting to see how much fluid we're down in our cells. I checked, the last time I checked it was probably 6 months ago before I put it into storage. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. As you can see, it's much cleaner, much nicer. You can do the same thing with the other side. This one isn't nearly as corroded, so I'm not going to worry about it. And with this one, you just have these little caps. I didn't grab my screwdriver. I'm going to pause the video, go grab my screwdriver, and I'll be right back. Okay, so back where we left off. All it is just a simple flathead screwdriver. You just want to pop these caps off. Can be a little bit of a bear, but they're just pressured in there. This is probably what the majority of your guys' batteries look like style-wise, unless you have 6 volts. So you can see they are actually not that low. I'm going to take my paper towel and just try not to get any dirt and stuff in there. Get it wiped free. Okay. Then I'm just going to go ahead and add my distilled water. They're actually not that low. Looks like maybe about a 1/2 inch is all. And it's important to do all three of these holes. These have a little lip down below as well. You just want to go up to that bottom of that lip. Okay, that's it for that one. These caps just simply press back on. We'll do the same thing on this side. Sniffling a little bit today. My allergies are bothering me. I'm sure just like many of you guys are. All of these are equal as well. They're all just a little bit low, not too far. And with a battery like this, if you store it properly, it will slowly discharge over time. You can just throw it back on a trickle charger whenever it's getting close to time to use it again. I typically don't store this one on a charger. I just charge it up before I need to go. As long as I store it properly and keep up on the fluids, it will last a very long time. Okay, so they're all topped off. I ask you guys to go check out our website at rvhelponline.com. If you haven't been over there before, please like, comment, and subscribe on this video if you guys have any other battery questions. I'll go ahead and link at the end of this video to a full article that I've done on 6 volt and 12 volts and the advantages of both of them. I hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see you guys soon. See you in the next video. Take care and safe travels.